Hello students. Well, we've now finished with solving two-step equations, so let's move on to looking at three-step equations. And we're going to look at two different types. So here's one here where basically the left-hand side is a fraction that includes a sum, and on this side we've got a sum that includes a fraction. So let's go ahead and do those two, then you can have a go at doing the second two. Okay, as we did in the previous video, anytime you have a sum or a difference inside a fraction, there's really brackets in the expression. All of 2y plus 4 is divided by 3, and we show all of an algebra by putting brackets around the expression. So the brackets are the last thing we're going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 3. The 3's divide out. That leaves me with 2y plus 4 equals 18. And you've seen equations like that before, so this should now be pretty simple. First, we have to undo the adding, giving us 2y equals 14. And then divide both sides by 2, and y equals 7. Okay, quick check. 2 times 7 is 14. Plus 4 is 18. 18 divided 3 is 6. So that checks. Okay, looking at the question on the top right. In this case, we do have an addition is the first thing we have to get rid of. It's not part of the fraction, so it's not going to go in the brackets. And in fact, let's put the brackets in before we start. So therefore, the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 6 from both sides. And that leaves me with y minus 3 all over 5 equals 8 take 6 is 2. And now we're back to an equation that looks similar to the type we did in the last video. So we have to do inside the brackets last. So the first thing I do is I multiply both sides by 5. Y take 3 equals 10. Add 3 to both sides. And y equals 13. Okay, quick check. 13 minus 3 is 10. 10 divided 5 is 2. 2 plus 6 is 8. So that's correct. Okay, so now it's your turn. Go ahead and solve these two equations, please, and then restart the video and check your answers. Okay, welcome back, students. Well, hopefully the first thing you did is put brackets around the numerator. Now, because that's inside the brackets, we're not going to touch those till the end. So the first thing I do is I multiply both sides by 2. That gives me 3g take 1 equals 20. Now I've got to solve this. So first I undo the subtracting by adding 1 to both sides. 3g equals 21. Divide both sides by 3. And I end up with g equals 7. Okay, check it. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 minus 1 is 20. 20 divided 2 is 10. So that checks. Okay, looking at the last question on the page. Again, I'll put brackets around my numerator because it contains a subtraction. And the first thing I have to undo here is the subtraction, subtracting 6, that is. So I add 6 to both sides. And I'm left with 16 take y all over 3 in brackets equals, well, negative 2 plus 6 is 4. Okay, the next step, because I've got the brackets there, I'm going to solve that part of the equation last. So I multiply both sides by 3, leaving 16 take y equals 12. Now, at this stage, This is a pretty easy one to just do in our heads. We just 16 take what equals 12. Well, the unknown number must be 4, so I don't need to do anything fancy to solve that. Okay, let's check it. 16 minus 4 is 12. 12 divided 3 is 4. 4 takes 6 is -2. And that's how we solve three-step equations. What you'd notice is after the first step of solving the three-step equations, we end up with a two-step equation. After solving the two-step equation, we end up with a one-step equation. And once we solve that, we end up with the answer. So it doesn't get any harder really to do four-step and five-step equations, so we're not going to bother with those in this video series. We're just going to move on to the next type of question where we've got the variable appearing more than once.